Going up for pre-order next week, the Genestealer Cults are coming alongside the new Sisters of Battle, and like the Sisters, they are infiltrating with a brand new combat patrol and a new Battleforce box. So let's take a look at the two and see what kind of savings you may be making by getting them, and if they are any good. Now, immediately side by side, we can see the new combat patrol alongside the old one, and straight off, like the Sisters of Battle, you can tell this one has had quite a lot of content chopped out of it. Gone is the old, solid 32 model count, featuring a load of neophytes, a ridge runner, the monstrous aberrants, and instead, this new combat patrol is much more speed focused. It's got a Jackal Alphas leading 2 units of 5 Metamorphs, an Achilles Ridge Runner, and 5 Italian Jackals, 4 on the bikes and 1 on the little quad bike. So all in all, it is now just 17 models instead of 32, so you're basically getting half as many models as you were before. So it is a very significant drop, and points-wise, it is also fairly significant, dropping from the fairly outstanding 625 points in the old box to now a much less impressive, but fairly standard for the new 10th edition Combat Patrol, 385 points. So for what will likely be the same £95 price tag, if not a little bit more, you are actually losing around 240 points from the old box to the new. And yes, whilst Combat Patrol is its own game and its own system, and having smaller armies is kind of the point, it is still a big hit to be losing what is essentially a third of the old value of the box in terms of points for what will likely be a similar financial cost. In terms of those actual savings financially, the old box got you an absolutely incredible £175.50 worth of models, which meant with the £95 price tag, you were making a saving of around 45% compared to retail, and basically got you all 20 of the neophytes and the magus for free. This, as we have seen throughout 10th edition, has been dropped significantly in terms of your savings. However, it is still slightly better than the new Sisters Patrol. The Metamorphs, the Italian Jackals, the Alphas, the Ridge Runner all come to around £155 from GW, so you are still making a saving of around £60 compared to buying them all separately. So basically you are getting all of those 10 Metamorphs for free, and in terms of a percentage saving, it's also not awful. It is around a 40% saving, so it's actually above the usual 30 to 33% that we've seen in pretty much all the other 10th edition Combat Patrol boxes. Although, as mentioned, there is a price increase due very, very soon, so this could actually go up a bit and be a bit nearer to the 30% value instead of 40%. But I do think even then, this is going to be one of the better costed boxes, and it will probably end up being around a 35 or 36% saving compared to buying all the units separately. Now, it does bring you some fairly fun units, and obviously it is going to be balanced around Combat Patrol, but if you like the idea of the Ridge Runner and the fast-moving bikers and everything, this isn't a bad box to get. It is quite cool and thematic, and it can add some of those speedier units to your Genestealer Cults force. So if you do want those or like those, this will of course be a way to get those for a little bit of a discount. And I mean, yes, it has been absolutely gutted in terms of what you got compared to the old one. So there is that. It is very, very disappointing, and it is much less of a saving. I just think if you are just after those fast moving units and the bikers and everything, you can get them for a little bit cheaper than buying them straight from GW separately by going through this route and then maybe selling the Metamorphs if you don't want those. The new Battleforce, the Biosanctic Brood Surge by comparison, is actually more focused around the pure strain Genestealers and the heftier aberrants, like the bigger, chunkier units. This box will likely come in at around £135 to £140 like other Battleforce boxes, and it does actually get you a reasonable chunk of models. It's going to be the first place you can get the new Cults Benefactus model, and he is leading the charge alongside 10 Neophyte hybrids, a Goliath Rock Grinder and a Goliath Truck, 10 Pure Strain Genestealers, 5 Aberrants, and their character leader, the Abominant. So it is a total of 29 models, and 2 of them are vehicles, so it's not utterly awful. The units themselves come to a total points cost of roughly 765 points. That is assuming the new Benefactus is around the same price as a Magus, which is 50 points, but I think anywhere from 765 to 785 seems reasonable for what we can expect from this box. So you can get yourself a decent sized little Genestealer Cults force from this box, and for that roughly £140 price tag, it does have the usual 30% saving. It actually comes to £205.50 separately if we assume a £19 price for the Benefactus, although of course it is likely to be a bit more, to be honest. So I would say this box is more likely to be around £210 worth of models, but in either case, you are looking at around a standard 30 to 33% saving, which you might expect, so you can get a relatively nice little army built up for that cost. Overall, I do think the Battleforce seems okay. It's not a great saving, but again, it's nothing worse than usual, and it does get you some cool thematic and relatively key Genestealer Cults units. You get the Genestealers, the Pure Strain Genestealers, you get the Aberrants, you get the Rock Grinder and the Truck, all of which can be quite useful. And if you are building a new Genestealer Cults army, you will probably at least want a few of them. On the other hand, the new Combat Patrol, it actually feels like it should be better because the savings you get for it are actually more than usual with that 40% discount. But it just feels bad because it is such a downgrade in terms of the box itself. Not just the amount of models, you are losing so much value compared to that old box, but also in terms of the contents, it goes from being this useful all-rounder box that any new player will get a load from in terms of the models, to being this quite specific, fast-moving focused box that, as I said, if you do like that and you want those units, could be good. But if you are trying to run a more generic all-rounder Genestealer Cult army, some of this stuff may not be useful to you, and certainly isn't going to be one that you're going to want to get more than one box of if you aren't planning on going heavy on things like the Jackals. So I think all in all, yes, it could be good, and you can get some of those units if you want them for a bit of a discount, but it is just so much worse overall value compared to the older Combat Patrol, and it is definitely going to feel bad buying it if you just happen to miss out on a chance to pick up the older one before it's gone for good. So that is the new Genestealer Cults Combat Patrol and their new Battleforce box. What do you think of them, and will you be picking either of them up? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe for more Warhammer content from me, but until next time, I'll catch you later, guys.